In the opening scene, a man in a protective suit handles two blue-tinted T-viruses and its green-tinted antidote, with mechanical arms. He then puts all of them in an automated lockable suitcase except for one of the T-viruses, which he throws off and breaks. The virus spreads out through the vents. He collides with a man drinking coffee. The man thanks him out of disappointment for not apologizing and his cloth stains. One of the victim's co-workers expresses dissatisfaction with him too. The guard dogs that are caged start to sense the spread of the T-virus and they bark. The surveillance camera detects biohazard, the spread of the T-virus. The bio-emergency alarm goes off. Lisa, a staff on phone, thinks it's a fire drill. Workers try to escape but automated doors shut down. They all think it is a fire drill. Then the emergency water comes on, flooding the lab. They try to stop it, screaming at the camera to make it stop. All the cameras are being controlled by AI supercomputer called Red Queen. The doors are locked. The dogs continue their distress barks. Workers in the elevator try to leave, but the automated system that is controlled by the Red Queen shuts the elevator down. They start expressing skepticism and anxiety inside the elevator. A staff in the elevator tries to make contact through the phone but no response. The Red Queen surveillance is viewing them. All the staffs become confused and helpless. Lisa asks what the problem is. Some part of the laboratory becomes flooded with water as a staff shouts to the surveillance that there is no fire. During this, the elevator mentioned earlier has stopped and starts falling. It stops at level 3. Then gas comes on in the offices, making everyone pass out as the Red Queen surveillance reports of a biohazard. A female worker tries to smuggle herself out, but Red Queen surveillance activates. The elevator drops, stopping before her head meets the floor. The others try to pull her back in, but the elevator goes up suddenly and her head is chopped off. A young woman named Alice wakes up in a shower bath. Apparently she suffered a case of amnesia. She walks out from the shower and looks in the mirror, sees some bruises in her body and gets a flashback of her passing out in the shower. She slowly walks into the bedroom confused. Opens the cotton and looks outside. She sees a written note saying, "Today all your dreams come true," and opens 3 drawers. At the third one, she is surprised to find a gun locked up in a computerized system. She comes into a hall dressed in a red outfit as the surveillance sees and scans her. In the hall she finds a wedding picture of herself with a man. Then she sees movement, walks outside and calls out into the darkness. Suddenly hordes of birds fly out of the trees and the wind begins to pick up. She is then pulled inside by a man, and SWAT officers jump through the windows, breaking the glass. One of them, James, also known as the leader, grabs Alice and tells her to report. Alice does not actually know what's going on. The SWAT leader later removes his mask to Alice. Then another officer, Rain, apprehends a man named Matt who tells them he's a cop but not really. James orders them to be taken to the hive. They go downstairs to an underground warehouse under the mansion, leading to railroad tracks with a parked train on it that has an umbrella logo. They go inside and Rain goes to rectify the train under and hears a weird footstep which she becomes skeptical of. JD, her SWAT crew, pranks her. She frights a bit and laughs it off. She pranks him back with a spark. As JD tries to close the train door, an unconscious man hiding in the compartment falls out. Alice sees him and remembers that he was the man in the wedding picture earlier. She sees her ring which has an umbrella writing carved on it. A SWAT member, Dana, revives the man and confirms he has memory loss as well. Upon arrival at the hive, the group batter down the locked steel door and tries to find the Red Queen's chamber. The Red Queen surveillance sees them as they arrive. They pass through a hall where there is glass wall on one side. Alice asks James who they are, but he ignores her. Alice hits on his gun for an answer. James looks at Alice and starts to reveal to her that both of them are the same employers that work for the Umbrella Corporation. James goes further, saying that there is an emergency in the hive and they are sent to destroy the Red Queen. Alice asks about the ring and James tells her that it is a fake marriage made by Umbrella for her to protect the secrecy of the hive. They are shown the hive through computer stimulation. James explains further the structures of the hive and is located deeper inside the Raccoon City. He elaborates that the hive is an underground facility home to 500 scientists, saying that the hive's research is of importance but the nature of the research is classified. Spencer asks why he can't remember anything. James explains that the hive has its own defense mechanism and as a result a nerve gas gets released which Alice remembers when she was in shower and it lead to her acute memory loss. He asks how long it lasts. James says it depends, that it can last for days or weeks. They bridge the hive and enter with their weapons ready. They drop flare and see that the elevator has been destroyed and they decide to take the stairs. Alice hears about the Red Queen and asks James who the Red Queen is. He explains that it is the artificial intelligence that controls the hive. Spencer asks what has happened in here. James explains 5 hours ago, the Red Queen went homicidal and sealed the hive. He says that his team is here to shut it down. Alice asks why the Red Queen did that, but James couldn't figure out the reason for that. As they talk, a dead woman suddenly floats forward and they fright. Spencer offers Alice a jacket. As she touches the jacket, she gets flashback of a love affair with Spencer but unsure. Alice asks if he remembers anything. Spencer says he remembers nothing before the train incident. He asks Alice if she remembers any too. She says nothing at all. Matt looks through a vent and hears some noise. As Rain curses the dead girl and leaves, she opens her eyes and hits the window with her hand. The team enters into another sealed room as James believes that there are survivors and gives instructions. They all dispatch to various segments. Alice and the group wander into a giant room where one of the doors leads to the Red Queen chamber. Alice looks through a window in the door to see if there is anything in there. There is, but she does not know what that is because the glass is foggy for her to see clearly. James stands beside her and repeats his instructions. Alice, Kaplan, another man, Dana, one of the two female officers, and James enter the Red Queen's chamber. James enters the glass room first. The light turns on. James plants a control device at the door. Kaplan finds the code and the door opens. Dana and the other two enter the room. Suddenly the entrance to the cube room closes and the defense system activates. They scream for Kaplan to open. A laser appears and quickly moves along the room towards them. James ducks, but the laser takes off the other man's fingers. Dana unfortunately gets her head sliced off by the laser. The laser disappears once it reaches the end of the room and another one appears at the far end of the room. As they get sliced and killed by the laser, Kaplan is working seriously to overrule the system. Again moving quickly towards them, one SWAT member is cut in half. James dodges it but at the expense of his knife. When another laser comes, James thinks he has worked out its route and can dodge it, but it splits into a tight grid spread right across the room. Just when Kaplan screams he's overruled the defenses, James is diced. Alice and Kaplan go in through the end door as the door closes automatically. Alice and Kaplan set up the device and turn on the system and a red hologram of a little girl appears and tell them to get out. Kaplan gets reluctant to hear the Red Queen out. She tells them that they're all going to die down here and she gets shut down by Kaplan. Everything sealed, doors open up and the unknown creature chamber shuts down as well. Moments later strange noises starts to come up from the area. Rain, Kaplan another man hears a noise. Rain goes in there with her gun cocked. She sees a woman in white thinking is a survivor and call on her team. The woman looks helpless. Rain comes to help by holding her face. But she bites Rain's hand and jumps on top of her as Rain shouts. JD walks over, removes her from Rain and shoots her multiple times in the leg. She doesn't die. Then Rain shoots her with a machine gun as she flies back. JD says he shot her 5 times and she is still standing, but Rain tells him she is dead. Alice and others approach where Rain and JD are. Kaplan asks Rain reason for the shooting and Rain says they found a survivor. Kaplan questions why shoot her. Rain says that she is crazy and bites her. Matt spots a key on the ground. When they talk, they look and see that the girl is gone. Matt looks at the blood and finds out they have coagulated so fast and says it is not possible. Matt picks up the keys to his handcuffs while the team looks away. JD asks why not. Matt says that blood coagulates after death. Then JD hears noise of a metal dragging on the ground and alerts others. It shows a zombie dragging an axe, then a bunch of blood-covered zombies come out from all directions, surrounding everyone including Alice, Spencer, Kaplan, Rain, JD and Matt. Matt is trying to uncuff himself while they begin shooting. A zombie grabs Rain but she breaks her neck, still confused with the situation. They continue to shoot the zombies knowing that this is strange. The zombies approach and don't die with body shots. Rain starts to shoot at the frames which release gas. Shortly the frames explode. Matt tries to get the keys after explosion but it falls into a hole. A burning zombie crawls towards Matt, he kicks him and struggles to get back the keys. He succeeds in getting the keys and uncuffs himself as his legs catches fire. They split up. Kaplan is trying to open the door using passcodes while Spencer is rushing him. Soon, JD kills a zombie and then moves Kaplan out of the way to open the door, while failing to remember some numbers for the code. Kaplan finally calls it right as JD successfully unlocks the code. Then the door opens. Zombies rush through and JD is caught. Rain tries to pull him back, but she gets bitten again on her right arm. The monster breaks out from its chamber. They are unsuccessful and go into the Red Queen's chamber while JD perishes. Alice is seen wandering through a room. She notices a bunch of cages with holes in them, like something broke through them. She stops when she hears a noise. She looks and sees a zombie dog with all of its flesh gone, looking scary. It chases her and she runs into a room, where there is a zombie. She punches him, resorting to martial arts this time. She wonders how she did it and then remembers what James had told her about being an Umbrella security agent and remembers the guns in the drawer. She had been trained in martial arts. As she carefully collects the gun from the dead zombie that she killed, a zombie dog jumps through the window. She runs into a room with the gun and locks the door. Then turns around and finds 7 more zombie dogs looking horrific without flesh. They run at her and she starts shooting with the gun she got from the zombie. She kills all the dogs with 1 bullet each. Her perfect aiming and shots prove that she is a real Umbrella trained agent. Then another one, hiding in a cabinet, jumps at her. She steps on a box, pushes herself off the wall, and kicks the dog in the face. Matt wandering through some offices. He goes to one of the cubicles and finds Dr. Lisa's ID card, who had been shown earlier. Then suddenly, a zombie hits the window and scares Matt. Still observing the cubicle, he hears someone. He looks behind and sees Lisa, who looks harmless until she gets close. Then she tries to bite him, until Alice stabs Lisa at the back of her neck with a transparent hard object. Alice then has a flashback of her talking to Lisa about infiltrating the Umbrella Corporation and getting the virus to show the press. Then we hear Matt, who says that Lisa was his sister and that one of the workers had tried to get Lisa into the building, Alice, but betrayed her, which is not true. Then Matt tells Alice if she knows how much the T-virus is worth in the market, and Alice asks if it is with this type of horror it has created. Everyone is barricaded in the control room. Matt and Alice come in with a bunch of zombies following them, but they manage to lock out the zombies. They can't escape, so Alice and others end up going back to the Red Queen room, where they reboot it. Ask the Red Queen what's going on. The little girl, the Red Queen, tells them all about the T-virus and how she was forced to lock up the facility to prevent the virus from escaping and contaminating the rest of the world's population. The T-virus was designed in the Umbrella Corporation laboratory, the Hive, as an experiment to prolong life, except the virus mutated and all of the people that were trapped in the underground facility when the bioscanners went off died and are now reanimated. They are brain dead with no intelligence, driven by the basic need, which is feeding on living flesh to survive. As she explains all of this, a deceased JD transforms into a zombie. Kaplan slumps out of anxiety when he hears that. Rain asks the Red Queen on how they are killed, and the Red Queen hints on hitting the upper spinal column, which affects the brain. Then Rain gets the head target hint. Matt asks why she killed everyone inside the Hive. The Red Queen explains that the T-virus started airing into the air conditioning system, an uncontrolled pattern of infection began. Stating that the virus is a protein that changes from liquid to airborne and then blood transmission depending on the environment, and it still makes it impossible to kill. Saying that she could not allow it to escape from the Hive, and she took steps and makes it clear that those infected cannot be allowed to leave. Spencer says they are not infected. Then the Red Queen reveals that just 1 bite and scratch is sufficient to make someone infected. Rain has already been bitten more than once. Alice asks the Red Queen how can they get away, and the Red Queen agree to help them. They go over to the corner and find the sewer entrance. They go down with Rain and Kaplan taking the lead with their guns. But then a bunch of zombies appear and attack them from both directions. Alice resorts to martial arts and starts to break their heads. Everyone climbs on top of the pipes, but in the process, Kaplan is bitten on the leg while Rain gets bitten again on both of her arms. She then finds her gun and is shocked when she points it at a reanimated JD. She hesitates to shoot, but when she says his name, he comes close to her and bites her neck. As a zombified JD attempts to attack again, Rain shoots him dead. Kaplan admits that the Red Queen was right about all of them dying inside the Hive. They all get to other side except for Kaplan. The pipe breaks and Kaplan falls. Alice jumps and is helped by others. Kaplan struggles with the zombies as Rain is told to shoot, which she couldn't do. Alice shoots the zombie on top and this helps Kaplan to climb up. He brings out the bullet shells with only 1 remaining and he says lucky. He tells them to leave. He puts a gun in his mouth. As they leave, Alice hears the shot. Turns out, Kaplan had shot a zombie. They come up the facility, Matt assists Rain and she starts to vomit. Then Alice, the sickly Rain, Spencer, and Matt are walking through some corridors when Alice imagines people walking through, and then she imagines the lab. She is looking through a window. It shows some scientist injecting the T-virus into a rabbit, and then it shows some green liquid, which is the antidote. There is a vaccine. She tells them. It excites Rain and she says she is beginning to worry. They go to where the lab was and it's flooded. Alice walks to where the vaccine should have been, but they're gone. Rain loses hope, but Alice encourages and comforts her. Then Spencer has a flashback. It shows him overhearing Alice talking with Lisa about stealing a sample of the T-virus to go public with the Umbrella Corporation's nefarious plans with a recording device. Spencer decides to destroy the Hive before anything can be made public. Spencer now gets a flashback of his affair with Alice and the short note that he wrote to her about her dreams coming true after their affair. Spencer is seen operating a machine handling the blue and green viruses, then it shows him throwing the T virus deliberately infecting the facility, and then it shows him in a hurry walking out. He was the man in the opening shot that stole the T virus and was the one who bumped into the man knocking coffee all over it, and then he gets out via the train. He had been hiding in the train, until JD had tried to close the door and he fell through. Alice realizes it had been him and dives for the gun, but not before Spencer as he grapples the gun. He points it at Matt and Alice at the same time saying that they can make it together and there is a huge amount of money waiting out there and they won't believe how much that is. Then Alice realizes what he meant by the dream come true notes and asks. Spencer tells Alice that she is aware of everything, but Alice makes it clear that she was trying to stop the nefarious plans of Umbrella. As Spencer continues to talk to them at gunpoint, a zombie emerges from underwater. Matt, Alice and sickly Rain sees it and ignores him as he talks, not knowing that there is a zombie behind him. The zombie bites him, and then he shoots the zombie. They try to overpower him but he is too fast. He goes out pointing a gun at them still and tells Alice I'm missing you already, and locks them inside. Matt and others think he is getting away. But then the TV turns on hearing the Red Queen, who says that's not true and that she has been a bad girl. Then we see Spencer walking to the spot on the trail where he hid the vaccine. He is about to inject himself when he hears something. He looks up at the ceiling where after a few seconds, a giant monster, the Licker, is seen crawling along the ceiling. Spencer looks up towards it and yells in shock, before the Licker drops to the ground. A panicked Spencer attempts to flee, only to be quickly mauled and killed by the Licker. They see the Licker kill Spencer on TV and Matt marvels asking what that is. The Red Queen explains that is the Hive's early experiment. Revealed that it was created by injecting the T virus directly into the living tissue. Saying that the results were unstable and now it has fed on a fresh DNA, it will mutate bigger and stronger. Matt asks her if she knew that the creature was loose why she didn't warn them. Alice believes because she was saving it for them. The Red Queen says that she didn't know that they will make it this far not without infection. Rain asks the Red Queen why she didn't inform them about the antivirus. Red Queen answers that being infected this far that there is no guarantee of it working. Rain asks but there is a chance but the Red Queen says that she doesn't deal in chance. The Red Queen tells Alice that in order to get the code to open the door, she must kill Rain, who is infected and dying. Alice yells that there is an antivirus out there but the Queen refuses. Rain says okay and tells Alice to kill her and give her a fire axe she took from the wall. Alice refuses holding the Meanwhile the Licker jumps against the glass few times and cracks it. She keeps yelling at Alice to kill her and it looks like she is about to by raising the axe until she hits and breaks the screen instead. The Red Queen shot down. Then Kaplan, thought dead, opens the lab door and they are all happy. Kaplan is the one that shot the Red Queen down for not wanting to unlock the door. The Licker comes back. It breaks the glass and jumps into the flooded lab but they lock it inside. Kaplan yells what that is. They go out where they make it to the train and Alice finds the vaccine, but not before a zombified Spencer awakens and tries to grab her legs. After mocking to him with I'm missing you already, Alice kills him by bashing on his head with an axe. She then abandons her wedding ring before leaving on the train. Kaplan drives the train back to the mansion, and they inject the vaccine into Rain. Her head falls and Alice points a gun at her thinking that she is dead. To pull the trigger Rain awakes, shifts the gun off target and says she's not dead yet. Then claws scratch through the metal, scratching Matt on the arm. They look to where they should shoot. Then the door to the cockpit opens and Kaplan perishes after the Licker pulls him out. It bursts through the train and tries to kill Alice, who shoots it in the head multiple times. But the Licker keeps on coming and its tongue wraps around her leg. Matt hits the Licker with bunch of metal pipes tied together. Still the Licker persists on its attack on Alice. Alice stabs its long tongue holding it. She tells Matt to knock it out the train, but then Rain awakens and has transformed into a zombie. She tries to bite Matt, who then shoots her in the head. The zombified Rain lands on the button, which pushes and opens the floor door where the Licker is standing on. The Licker drops out and gets squashed by the train, where it is burned to death. Matt then hits the button and shuts the floor door which cuts the Licker's tongue, finally killing it for good. Alice looks at dead Rain with sorrow. Matt and Alice get out just in time before the emergency doors close. As they come up to the building, Alice falls out of regret saying that she failed by letting Rain die. Matt tells her that the corporation is guilty of that, not her. Matt tells Alice that with the vaccine and the T virus sample, they will make public about what Umbrella Corporation is really doing when he drops to the floor complaining of pain in his arm. As Alice is about to inject the antivirus, suddenly bunch of protectively clothed scientists burst through the door. Alice tries to fight off the scientists but they take Matt and say that they're going to put him in the Nemesis program when they see that he is infected and his scratch wounds on his arm begin pulsating. Then they overpower Alice as she still fights for Matt. They are ordered to quarantine Alice to check for the T virus. They say that they're reopening the hive to find out what happened down there. Alice wakes up in a white room with cords sticking in her head and arm. She rips them out. Then she goes to the mirror and screams for them to let her out. Something whose face is not seen walks by the opposite side. She goes over to the door and gets a needle which she jams into the door code opener and it unlocks. She finds that she is in the Raccoon City Hospital and the place appears deserted. She walks outside in Raccoon City and sees that everything is destroyed. There are no people or bodies anywhere. It shows a newspaper headline, "The Dead Walk." It is apparent that the T virus has escaped from the hive and has now infected the entire city. Then she walks over to an abandoned cop car, getting a pump-action shotgun. Alice holds the shotgun and standing in the middle of the deserted street, which then pans out showing the destroyed cars and city. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe for more.